back to Good Day Orlando. Time now for your Money Watch. You may soon notice higher sticker prices on everyday items. That's because of a new 25% tariff imposed on $34 billion of imports from China by the U.S. We're joined now by the Oracle of Orlando, Joe Bert. Joe, good morning.
Good morning,
Good to
Andrea.
see you.
Good to be here.
So let's talk first off a little history on
Sure.
tariffs.
Tariffs go back to 1789. President Washington.
Back to 1789.
Yep, first, and we were raising tariffs on things coming in this country. And once again, tariffs are there to protect local domestic industries, and it was the textile industry back then, in 1789, and that was really the only source of revenue that the government had until we had the Income Tax Act of 1913.
Really?
So for all those years, that was where the money was coming in to fund the government.
Nearly 200 years later.
And here we are.
My goodness. Well, let's talk about this one in particular. Explain the impact of this tariff.
Well, it raises the prices for things coming into this country. Once again, virtually everything we buy somewhere, has some kind of tax added to it. Some countries, we have low tariffs coming in, and now they've put it on China, which is the big offender. Now the EU perhaps, and now they're talking about raising the tariffs on automobiles, which is, I think, the real biggie out there, the big banana, because the prices of cars made overseas, particularly in the EU, is going to be impacted dramatically.
Is that supposed to inspire more production here in the U.S.?
Well, that's the idea. It's to protect, and that's, of course, President Trump's entire platform was to protect America. And for too long, it's been go along to get along. And we've done this since 1789.
Yes.
And when you look at it, it's in many cases very inefficient. And he's trying to protect, but by the same token, it's going to cost more for certain kinds of things, which we don't talk about.
And it's sort of a course correction too, right? Like you said, we've been going along for so long, but now we're going to try and make that change to get get things back on track.
The big thing in China is not only the goods, but our intellectual property that they're trying to duplicate. And for many years, China has forced us that, okay, if you want to sell Microsoft software you got to do it in China, and you have to give us information on how you do it. So once they figure out how to do it, we're out of there. And so that's what President Trump is laying down the gauntlet. He says enough of this, and he's trying to protect us. And a lot of stuff is going to happen. Things are going to be shaken out. But frankly, in my estimation, it's long overdue.
Okay, you mentioned cars. Yep. We started with that one. Yep. Next up, we talk about food and beverage. Beer is on the list.
How about that?
Beer, really?
Well, beer cans, primarily made from aluminum for the most part, and they estimate that the cost of beer may go up another 25 cents on a case of beer. And the beer industry is up in arms right now because it's summertime, and but yeah, beer, everything, even candy bars. The aluminum foil on a candy bar.
Sure.
That's going to be, perhaps they're projecting another nickel increase on a candy bar.
Okay, snack foods could be affected as well. Small appliances.
Well, you're talking about mixers and thermostats and refrigerators and those kinds of things, most of it which is made in China. The cost of that will go up, and so we'll be affected on all that kind of stuff. Stuff that you don't think about, little stuff, but all adds up at the end of the day.
Of course, and food.
Well, here's what's happening with food. Because China is going to have tariffs on our stuff going over there, pork and soybeans and so forth, our domestic producers are probably going to need to raise prices somewhat to overcompensate or to compensate for what they're going to lose shipping overseas. So all this stuff is going to ripple through our economy. The good news, Andrea, though, is it hasn't affected the markets. And the markets affect you and me. It affects your 401k, affects your IRA, affects a lot of stuff that we're hoping on in the future. So far, so good, but we'll see how it plays.
Okay, sit tight in the saddle, hold on to the reins.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff to be played out yet. But as I said, I think cars is the big thing, and I think President Trump will declare victory when they drop the tariffs on cars both ways, and all the dust will settle. But give it a few months. That's my projection.
And if it fuels more production here in the U.S., it seems like that would work in our favor.
In the long run, but things will, in the long run, cost a little bit more.
Okay. Yep. All right, Joe. Always good to see you. Where can people find you?
Just Google me, 2 words, Joe Bert, B-E-R-T.
All right, Joe. Breaking down the tariff situation so we can all kind of understand it.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click here to subscribe to our CFG channel.